Rated M for mature.
On battlefields of blood, hatred has united the darkest of warriors to wage a war of subjugation or total annihilation. For supremacy, for survival, this is the war for Nosgoth. Annihilation. For supremacy, for survival, this is the war for Nosgoth. Annihilation. For supremacy, for survival, this is the war for Nosgoth.
Hey guys, how is everybody tonight? How's my good friends doing tonight? Are we doing okay? What?
I was gonna let G go. I feel like a bag
Ladies
of
first.
ass. So
Ladies first.
I do. I feel like a bag of ass. Hey.
Well, folks, we are back. It's another night, another fun night with Late Night with Cranky and Friends. I, of course, am the Cranky Canuck, otherwise known as the Cranky Canuck. Joining me tonight is Hasselhoff, known as Hassel_Hoff on Twitter, and Mr. G. Eidolon, otherwise known as G_Eidolon on Twitter, or as we affectionately call him, the G-Spot. I can't help it. It's always there. I can't resist. How are you guys tonight?
No one can resist the G-spot.
Nobody can resist the G. Not if they're smart or they're married, or whatever. How is everybody tonight? Ass, how are you doing?
Long day. Snowed, no plow, shovel, went to work, came home. Every part of my body is just screaming at me right now.
So you need a gentle massage.
Ooh.
Mm.
I would say I need to take it to the G-spot, but most people can't find it, so I don't think I'll be very lucky.
Oh, and speaking of the man himself, how are you, G?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be on. This is definitely a step in the right direction today.
Yeah, you sounding a little tired when we were getting the pre-show. Are you feeling a little better now?
Yeah, I had some coffee earlier today. I think it's finally hitting me. So we'll see how that goes and how long that lasts.
Did you put any butter in it?
Why would you put butter in coffee?
Well, I guess
Who does that?
Apparently it's the newest, hottest trend. And we all know
Why?
that geeks love our coffee. We love coffee, like whether it be the wallet-wrenching Starbucks or the Cornerstone. Yeah, there we go. Now, is that iced coffee or is that?
Definitely ice. It looks like a caramel macchiato.
No, actually, if you really want to know what this is, it is technically it's an iced latte with chai and white mocha because my precious pumpkin is gone.
Aww.
I was close. Not really, but...
No, not really. Not even fucking close. Come on now. Just,
no.
I sure hope your hunt for the G-spot does better than your estimation of what coffee she was drinking. Like,
Just because
I don't
every
need to find
teenage
myself.
girl in America loves caramel macchiatos because it's the only drink people know, doesn't
It
mean
really
it's
is.
a thing.
It really is. It's kind of
Or-
annoying.
Frappuccinos.
listen,
Frappuccinos are not drinks. Let's just be real.
I've been drinking the same coffee for the last 45 years. Straight black, no sugar, no milk, nothing. And you guys
I
go and
enjoy that.
pollute it with that shit. I don't believe you.
I enjoy that. Like, have you ever? I can't speak. Have you ever had a very, very fine Turkish coffee?
No, I think my like when I lived in Calgary, I used to go to this tea and coffee shop, and they sold the fresh beans, the whole works. And I used to get different. Like there was the Hawaiian Blue that I got. There was some Jamaican roast. There was a couple other ones, and I used to make up my own blends. So it was nothing better than getting up on a Saturday morning with make up a blend of some Hawaiian Blue and a little bit of Jamaican, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and just blend up a nice pot of coffee. But no, I'm serious. Apparently, there are 5 reasons why you should put butter in your coffee. Okay? Number 1, and I'm not sure why this is a reason, but they say only grass-fed butter has the right fats that regulate cholesterol, not add to it. Grass-fed butter is the best ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce body fat, and is a good source of vitamin K, both according to studies that reduce the risk of heart disease.
Well, here's an idea. Why don't you just take butter and substitute it for your meals? I mean, just eat it. Just take that bar and just, munch on it.
It's funny you mention that because in this list, where the hell is it? Oh, shit. Oh, 2 tablespoons of butter is all you need to replace a breakfast meal altogether, making this a quick alternative for people on the go. Providing
That
your
sounds
body
healthy.
with essential fats and calories is a higher performance blend than a carbohydrate source like oatmeal. Hashtag the more you know.
Now you see, before anybody gets
The
confused,
fatter you get.
I did not come up with this story. Haas passed me this one in TeamSpeak earlier this evening, laughing, and I'm going, let's put it in the show notes. We talked about something, crocheted pants last night. We can talk about coffee, because really, geeks do love their coffee. Like,
Or energy drinks.
Yeah, but see, I'm not an energy drink person. Even when I'm playing
neither.
games or writing, it's coffee or Pepsi.
See, I'm not either, but there is one energy drink that I will always drink, and it's called Balls.
Balls?
Yes, it's a gaming-specific energy drink.
Wait a second. How the fuck do you come up with a gaming specific drink?
It's gamer's choice. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest, but it's called Balls. And it's, I want to say it was like a gaming-specific energy drink. If not, it's just we got it for our LAN parties every single time.
How's it spelled? B-A-L-L-S or B-A-W-L-S?
BAWLS.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Yes.
I have heard of it. I've never drank the shit, because I don't even know where you can get it up here.
I
But
don't either. I didn't even know it existed until we had some at the LAN parties.
so what's different about this one that makes you want to game and drink hot drink shit?
Drink Balls?
Yeah, drink balls.
Honestly, it was just more of like a thing that was there. Like it was funny because of the name, and everyone was drinking it to stay up because we were staying up for 24 hours, just LAN partying it up, which was a lot of fun.
Who doesn't like balls in their mouth?
She has a point.
Okay,
Apparently everybody who games like balls in their mouth.
listen, I don't like balls in my mouth. No, I do not.
You can't say that unless you try it, Cranky.
I'm not even going down that road. No fucking way. It's bad enough they want me now to put butter in my coffee so I can be a cool hipster dude. Which, yeah, okay, that's really gonna work out well, right? Me, a hipster dude? Nah, that ain't gonna happen. Now, G-Spot, on the other hand, with his double glasses last night.
Hey, I wanted to sport my gunners, and I realized that was a horrible idea because it hurt my head, like, because it pushes in. I don't, you guys probably, anyone with glasses knows this. When you have a headset and it's big, the frame part,
Yep.
I don't know what you call it, pushes in, and then when you have two, it hurts.
Okay, I gotta ask. I really do. I really gotta ask. Why were you wearing 2 fucking pair of glasses last night?
Well, because, okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but so Gunner, these guys, they're essentially hunting glasses. Like, if you go hunting and you are a pro hunter or something, you usually typically buy glasses like these. But the company Gunner makes them specifically for gaming. It's supposed, like, they, you know, use all these buzzwords for, like, marketing, going, oh, it increases your gaming time because it decreases the fatigue of your eyes by decreasing the I don't even know. Just read their stuff. But to be perfectly honest, it actually is it does help the eyes. Like, I do notice that my eyes do feel like I'm not straining as much because it does kind of almost lighten the screen a little bit.
All right, so let me put it this way. You, as a person who willingly put on 2 pair of glasses last night, you were the last person to question the idea of putting butter in your coffee.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, the logic behind this is what? I didn't follow that argument there.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hear that one again.
I also wear 2 pairs of glasses. I have a specific pair of sunglasses that fit over
At the same time
when I'm in the car. Yeah, so when I'm driving and I don't have my contacts in, boom, 1 pair, big ass, no one can tell. And,
yeah, but okay, that's the difference, Haas. You can't tell you're wearing 2 pairs of glasses. The biggest comment that we got in TeamSpeak last night from everybody was how cool G looked with his 2 pair of glasses.
So you can't really tell, like, unless I go down like this, you can't really tell if I'm, like, sitting up like that.
Alright,
So wait, though, these gaming glasses are legit, like, they legitimately help you.
I mean, I wouldn't say they help you. That would be, like, kind of going in with their whole marketing scheme kind of thing. And I don't want to necessarily market them, but it does release kind of the squinting, because I do notice that, like, when I don't have them on, at certain points I'll start, like, kind of squinting more, and, like, my eyes will get drier. But when I have these on, the I can't think. The color of the lens kind of can't really tell, makes it so the screen itself kind of dims more. Well, and it's not as bright.
I know Dizzy has a pair, and he's worn them a couple times when he's playing more of the first-person shooter type games. And he says it does actually, funnily enough, help.
Yeah.
Reduce the eye strain. But at $150 to $200 for a pair of gunners.
Well, and that's the thing. Those are for, like, the MLG Pro gunners. Like, you have plenty of different gunners that are around $60 or $70, I think. And if you get it on a sale, you can get it for like $40 or $50. And they do come in prescription. I do know that for a fact. I just don't buy them because I don't want to have prescription gunners.
Why not?
I mean, I have.
Like, you're the cool dude. You're the cool dude in the family here. Like, why wouldn't you go out and fork out that kind of money to just share, enjoy life with?
I mean, I like only having 1 pair. Like, the whole point, and everyone's gonna make fun of me for this, but I don't really care. So I got these new pair of glasses, these guys, just about a week ago, and I got the lenses that transition from, like, being inside to being outside. Like, they get darker when you go outside in the sunlight, and a lot of people are like, oh, so you got, like, old man glasses? Because apparently transition lenses are for only old people. I never knew this, but yeah, I've been getting a lot of comments like that lately.
Before we started show tonight, I had a chance to see this, and I had Raw D, who streams underneath Raw D 123. He came in TeamSpeak. I think it was yesterday. All excited about this new game that he had found, and it was called Folk Tales. And so I hunted it up on Steam, and I'll put the link in chat so that people can check it out for themselves. Now tonight, just before we went on, he was playing it on, he was streaming it, so we hopped over to have a look at it, and I gotta tell you, this is an absolutely gorgeous game. It's a sandbox. It reminds you almost automatically of a Landmark type game, but Landmark done properly. They did, like, the gameplay is, like, there's got to be an AI behind the gameplay in this, because you can literally drill down to each soldier in a group and manipulate them. They can go off and fight their battles on their own. Like, it is, and graphic wise, just it absolutely blew me away. Now I know, G, you said you had it on your Steam list of want to get.
Yep.
Is that as far as you've gotten looking at it, or because I know you're the type that goes and investigates things pretty closely.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I looked at, and it looked very interesting to me, so I put it on my wish list, and put it as a follow. And I only do that with games that really, really catch my interest, but I didn't really look into the game much. It was more of just a brief glance, and I typically add them on my list so I can go back later when they develop more, because I did this months and months ago, and it was kind of, I think, at its bare bones. So I was waiting, maybe another couple months, and then I would go down my list, and then I'll look at the kind of improvements that each game I have on my list is, or if it's just stopped development, or all that stuff. So I'm actually really excited to hear good things about it, because I haven't looked at it at all.
Well, okay, it is an early access game, and it's on sale right now on Steam for like $20. So, and the devs, they do stream. I can't remember the name of, like, their stream name. If Ginger, if you can hunt up their stream name through that link somehow. But Raw D was just ecstatic over this game. I like, Raw D can be kind of an excitable kind of guy sometimes, so you take it with a grain of salt. But after watching him, and the other amazing, mind-blowing thing is it comes with a built-in map editor, or actually world editor. So you can create your own maps for the game and then go in and play them. And the map editor itself is like, it's a fully functional 3D world creator. And it just, because he gave a brief demo of things like being able to place trees and make them bigger, make them smaller, place everything. You could actually get down to the point where you could set a fishing spot in the ocean, and where the man would come, and once he hit that spot, then he would start fishing. So, like I said, there's got to be a really decent AI behind this. I don't know what size of the
engine.
Yeah. I don't know what the size of the development team is. Ginger, it's for Folk Tales. I put the link in chat there for the Steam page. Yeah. So hi Jamie. This one definitely went on my wish list as of tonight, as a must-have game. Now,
here's the thing. Saw it, and visually it was absolutely stunning. Like, absolutely. It looked like one of the games for me, though, that I feel like I would buy and enjoy for a week and lose interest. And I know that's a terrible thing to say because I haven't tried it. I just have that fear in the pit of my belly.
Okay, would seeing more game, like, this is still rough in spots. Like, the only way you can basically save one game, because you can't save beyond one game right now, is by pulling up the console and typing in the save command. They know these things, they're working on them. So yeah, it's very early access. There's still a lot of glitches with it, so you're walking into it knowing that. Or you should be. If not, then you're an idiot. With more money than brains, and if you do that, hit the donate button down below. But I think in this case, and the fact that, like, there's no attention on Twitch about it. I think Rod D's one of the only people streaming it right now. If you saw more people playing it, Haas, would that help alleviate some of your worries? Or is this still a case?
So.
You think so?
The thing that I would probably end up doing is the same thing I did with Landmark. I'd get into the hype and I'd buy it and I'd play it for a few weeks, and that would be the only way to determine whether or not I would enjoy it. Which kind of sucks, because if I hate it, I would just be blowing my money just right out the fucking window.
You want to talk about investing in Landmark? You're talking to the guy that spent months working on his site as a resource for that, and who invested more time and money than he cares to shake a stick at, only to end up throwing it all away, because Landmark right now, or SOE, is just a total absolute mess. I don't care what anybody says. Like, they basically ditched their social media team over Landmark. They're screwing up with H1Z1. Like, I don't know. It's that game. But here's hype. The last year, how many games have you bought based on hype? Pure, unadulterated hype. Not anything else, but other than the fact that someone came to you, people you knew, whether it be through Steam or through TeamSpeak or through watching them on Twitch. How much money have you wasted on hype?
I'd probably say DayZ, but I think I got that a couple of years ago. But regardless, that was still hype.
Yeah.
And Landmark would be the other one. But the thing with those games, and this is what really, really sells it, I think, is it wasn't me that bought it because of the hype. It was me buying it because my buddy that I'm essentially, I have a small little group of friends that we all know each other personally, kind of like, the ones that I went to LAN parties with. And there's this main guy, he's kind of like, in a sense, the leader of the group, and he's the one who always hypes up certain games, and he gets excited, and he's like, we can all play this together. So because of his hype, and his persistence, and his confidence in these games, we all go out and buy these games, and then play it together for a week, and then stop playing.
Arcade.
Arcade was another perfect example. My same community all got the game, and hyped it up, and made it a huge thing. It actually, the community that I was a part of, or that I'm still a part of, essentially changed their voice application so they would join another guild that we were allied with or whatever, and this and that and all about Arcade, and we stopped playing any other games. And then now all of them are done. They don't play Arcade after like a month.
Ass, how about you?
Let's see. Landmark, a couple old ones. Terraria, I had never played. I got into the hype. Castle Storm, I bought for the hype. Fallout, which I wouldn't say I don't enjoy it. I just don't get to play it on the toaster I'm running, so I feel like it was a waste of money in a way.
Do you think that Steam adds into this hype?
Oh, of course. I mean, they know just as much as anyone else that the games that absolutely suck shouldn't be marketed, but they're going to market them anyway. Like DayZ. DayZ is a perfect example. I think it's one of those games that you should not market anymore because it's been just non-stop. But they hyped it up and put it on their little front page thing again, and then it was a top seller.
Well, as I said, Landmark was my big painful hype experience. I think WoW was another one. Mind you,
I almost bought
It's
into the,
time.
what was it, WildStar? But I'm actually really glad I didn't do that because everybody I know stopped playing.
thank you,
Well,
Paints.
that's the sad thing about that game too, and we kind of talked about it yesterday, but it was a phenomenal game. It was a phenomenal game for WoW players, but WoW players had WoW. So you don't really need that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the other games. Oh, Gauntlet was one. It's still sitting on my Steam library, unplayed more than 15 minutes. I can't really think of anything okay. Here's the thing: Guild Wars 2. We all know that they had their big announcement, and we'll get into that in a minute. Smartly, marketing-wise, it's on sale right now for $10, and honestly, people, I know we're talking about hype, but I'm saying this is not really hype. It's just, oh, you tease. At $10 for a quality game, even if you only play it for a couple hours a week or less than that for a period of time, it's $10, folks. It's like, half a Starbucks. The fact that they are putting it... Go ahead.
Why are you hating on, this is my livelihood. Why are you hating on Starbucks?
Because it's an easy target, darling. It's an easy target. Because they are overpriced. They're a phenomenal company. They make a great, mediocre cup of coffee. And they know their marketing. And they're successful, and you gotta admire them for that. But do you think the fact that Guild Wars is now on sale, leading into their big PAX announcements and everything like that, is that a kind of hype, or is that just proper marketing? And really, would it be a mistake to go out and buy it, even if you only end up playing it for, a month or two at $10?
I think it's proper marketing. I also think it's hype. That's what they want, though. I think Guild Wars 2 is a phenomenal game. I played it for probably a month or two, but I was happy with playing it, and I only stopped because my other friends stopped playing it, and that's usually the case, is, one or two of the friends are going to love it, the rest are going to be whatever to it, and then you just stop playing. So the hype is definitely real for that game. I mean, if you look at Twitch top streams, Guild Wars 2 was on there, and it was on the front page. You didn't have to click the arrow to go down to other games. It had like 25,000 people watching it, and that's because of the hype. It wouldn't surprise me if it sold a ton, and that's also because of the sale on top of the hype. So I think it's actually a phenomenal game, and if you do get it, it's a good choice because you'll probably get your $10 worth. At the same time, I also see it being hype, and I see it not necessarily flopping, but it's not going to be any kind of WoW killer or, any kind of huge thing that people want new MMOs to be now.
Paint Chips said in chat there, it sounds like you guys just hate games. Let me clarify something, Paint Chips, and like I said, thank you for the follow. We don't hate games. We love games. We spend a lot of our time playing fucking games. I spend a lot of time writing about games. I spend a lot of time writing about gamers and game developers. Thank you, Lil Collie. That'll do for now.
You just sounded like a drunk old wall.
Well, that's the way it looked on screen. What can I say? I'm just going by what I can see. Let me put this disclaimer out there for people who are here already. We are not here to be politically correct. We're not here to be nice. We're here to be honest. We're here to express our opinions. Okay? We're not here to coddle you and make you feel better about what you've done as far as, games are concerned. We're here to talk about games because that's what we love doing. We may not like everything that they do with the games, but it's worth talking about. So, if you're expecting, rah, you're in the wrong room. See you later. On with Guild Wars. The big announcement at PAX, obviously, was the Heart of Thorns expansion. And I know that's got quite a few of the more, I don't know if you call them hardcore, but devoted Guild Wars players really, really excited. There's everything from, there's like a new class, there's a new part of the world, there's new jumping puzzles. Jumping puzzles, get out of here.
Come on, jumping puzzles are like the best thing ever. Like, you should buy a game just for jumping puzzles.
You've got nimble fingers, buddy. These are arthritic. They don't work so good on keyboards.
That's probably why you don't like jumping puzzles.
Yeah. Now who's slurring their words? But yeah, they apparently this is going to be a really nice addition to Guild Wars. Do you still have Guild Wars 2, G?
Yeah, I have it. I mean, I always have it. It was a digital copy. And I will, if a bunch of people start playing it again, I will gladly jump back into it.
Would you be willing, are you going to be lining up to get the expansion pack? Or are you going to wait to see it being played?
I mean, I'll probably end up getting it if it brings enough people back and a lot of people want to play. I don't see myself not getting it. I mean, I already have Guild Wars 2, so it's not like I need to that as well. And even if I did, it's what, $10 now? So yeah, I mean, it would just be like buying a new game, but it's a game that I already know I enjoy, even though they are obviously changing quite a bit with it, in terms of masteries and the progression and all of that.
They were Johnson. Who's this Johnson dude? Somebody to do with the game, revealed that the challenges and story pieces completed in the Hearts of Throne will award mastery points, which can be used to purchase abilities. These are account-wide, so they will apply to every character you have. This is part of our no-grind philosophy for Guild Wars 2, which is obviously a slam towards WoW. Mastery skills will include the hand gliding feature that was featured in the trailer, as well as more abstract things like learning the languages and lore of the ancient civilizations in the Maguma jungle. He promised fresh combat abilities as well, but declined to go into any details as to how these will work or what they will be. The mastery system will also tinker with the game's crafting system, making legendary weapons less difficult to create. Now, okay, I have not played Guild Wars yet, but I have played things like Diablo. I've played things like WoW, and I know that when you say legendary items, they're supposed to mean something. They're supposed to be like the pinnacle of what your fighting equipment is, or your armor and stuff. Does making it something like that less difficult to create cheapen the value of those legendary items in a game?
Definitely. They're still going to be somewhat hard to get in some sense of the term, but it's going to make it more accessible, and at some point there's always going to be this kind of point of no return, in a sense, where it's going to be saturated with these legendaries, quote unquote. Kind of like with WoW, a good example is, you have these rare pets that aren't really rare in the true sense of the word. They're just rare because of certain aspects they have, or qualities they have, or how hard the quest line is. It's not necessarily rare, like the true definition, where it's hard to find.
Okay. He also went on to the whole area of specializations, the new system that will change professions in Guild Wars 2. He said they almost be like new professions unto their own. As an example, Rangers will be able to specialize into Druids, opening up new healing and utility skills, accessing a new weapon type, and new profession mechanics that fundamentally change the way the Rangers play. Is this like kind of a cheap way of bringing in new characters, new classes?
No, here's the thing, and I don't play Guild Wars, but a little birdie and I had a discussion earlier today about this, and with the release, because people have been waiting forever and ever and ever for a new like something new. Like they've been waiting for this for a long time. And there is no new playable race on this game. And that's pissed off a lot of the hardcore players. So they have like the new professions and, things like that, but nothing as far as a new playable race coming. And there also was no mention of new raids or new dungeons, which apparently kind of caused a slight uproar to some like devoted players.
Okay, but do you really need to? Can you not be able to expand on a game, quality-wise and experience-wise, and not bring in new character, like new races or bigger and better dungeons like we've seen happen in WoW? Can you not just make the base that you have better and more rounded, fuller featured, without and still have a good game, or have a better game, I should say?
In today's society now.
Oh yeah.
And with how gamers feel about things. No. The way that gamers have kind of been, in a sense, molded because of WoW and other games like that, it's really just, if you don't have something groundbreaking, you have to have more of the same. And if you don't have more of the same and it's not groundbreaking, they're going to criticize the shit out of your game. And that's how it is right now. And the funny thing is, you don't even know if there are going to be raids, or if there are going to be different, dungeons and things like that, because they really didn't go into it, and they still have months before it's actually released. Yeah, they talked about quite a few of the different things, but we don't know if there's going to be new dungeons and whatnot, and it's just people expect that the announcement is going to give them everything they want to hear.
Well, they did say that in PAX East, there will be a playable version of the game. Now, does that mean it's going to be released at that time frame, or just the people at PAX East will actually be able to get their grimy little hands on it and play it in a demo area? We don't know that. But I would imagine that if that's the case, there still could be some goodies to come out in PAX East, because you just can't walk into PAX East and say, well, yeah, here, you can play this a little bit. Unless you're making a major announcement like it is now available at such and such a price, they've got to be offering something more than just hot air. So we could very well see more content coming into the game.
And I think they're probably going to do that. They just don't necessarily want to talk about it yet, because most likely, and this is just obviously me kind of thinking about how people try to market typically, is that they didn't have a playable demo, or they didn't have a really good video to really show about that kind of stuff. And
apparently, like, I haven't seen it, but I think Sev was talking about it just before show. There is a trailer out there for the game, And
Yeah.
apparently it's really sweet looking, and it's got its fair share of people they're just excited all to hell to get their hands on the X-Pack. So, you know, people didn't walk away. Like, look, people go to these big gaming events, and they expect the world to drop into their fucking laps and walk away with all kinds of goodies, when half the time all this is just massive marketing on the part of companies. And they use it not so much to actually launch a downloadable version that day. It's like it's like, you know, it's like a tease. It's like sending a 13-year-old into a hooker band. You know, like he's not going he's not going to get the full action. You know, so yeah,
marketing, it makes total sense. Let's get the hype up. People are going to be intrigued. They're going to want to talk about it. They're going to want to know more about it. It's brilliant.
I'm just trying to keep an eye on chat too, in case, you know, interesting points are made. But yeah, no, it's here's one of the articles, guys. I'll paste the link in chat so you can see what we've been talking about and go from there. God, I hate Cockatoo's links from feeds. Pain in the ass. Another game that we heard about, and I gotta admit, this one's, I hate to say it, but we talked the other night about Sid Meier's, who's famous for his Civilization games. And the fact that he has been squirreled away with himself and about 4 or 5 other developers working on a new game called Starships. And it was announced that it was going to, you know, that they were working on it.
It's ass kicking time.
Thank you, MDG. But really, at that point, nothing much more was said, and, you know, there's been a lot of speculation. Well, apparently, I guess at PAX, the PAX South panel, Sid Meier himself ran the crowd through a demonstration of Starships, starting with a new galactic federation from scratch, equipping its fledgling ships with special upgrades and taking them into battle. Perhaps the most striking thing about Starships is how Starships is now focused on a RPG-like progression systems rather than the typical Civilization type progression. So it's like Sid Meier just walked away from what made him famous. He's trying something new. And like I said, leading into this, as much as I hate it because I've been let down so many, like, the thing about Civilization, it's a great game. It's a fantastic game once you've got the first and second X-Pack for it. Right?
Yeah.
Because the initial launch, I've played Civ games since number 1. And it's always been the case. The new, you know, the next generation one gets released and gets its initial sales, and then people start going, this kind of sucks. Like, this is just not good. So the first DLC or X-Pack comes for it, game gets a little better. The second X-Pack comes, and the game is fantastic. Civ 5 was a perfect example of that. So I'm sitting here going, God damn, this game looks so fucking sweet. I want it. Damn you, Sid Meier's. Like, really, damn you to hell. You've done it again. Now, we don't have a playable demo of it. We don't have any video, but we've got the images that are in the post. What's your impressions of what this game could be?
I am a huge Sid Meier's fan. I would probably buy it not knowing anything about it because that's the kind of person I am. But I have a feeling it's going to be very similar to everything else that is done, which isn't a bad thing because I love that, but I could see it becoming that. Which doesn't mean I won't play it anymore, but, you know, that's the impression I get. But it's kind of exciting that he's taken it in a different route a little bit.
G?
I am excited to see how things go with it, mainly because I, again, just like you both have been saying, am a huge Sid Meier's fan. I've loved all their Civs games and just have always played them since I found them. But it's always scary, I guess, to see a company do something different, do something that's not typically what they're used to doing.
Okay.
Do you really think it's going to be that different though?
Yes.
Because from what I gather, it's kind of the same idea. It's just being
Okay. The one thing about the Civilization games, and they've made this format famous, is it's hexagon based term RTS. It looks like they've totally eschewed that idea for starships. Yes, if your civilization comes across a wonder, it will benefit your galactic empire. If you create a like in that aspect, yeah, they are pulling some ideas out of the Civ world into this new one. But the thing is, like, Sid Meier basically walked away from the whole Civ franchise a couple of years, well, basically at some point during 4. And he basically has an office there, and the whole intention of what he does when he goes there is to play around with different ideas. That's what he does. He has a core group of developers that work with him. That's why they came out with, Ace Patrol, and there was a pirate one they came out with. Again, we're looking at something that's not so much RTS as it is like a melding of different ideas. Now, these were both mostly mobile games. They were mobile games. Starship is being designed for mobile and desktop. No mention of console at all. So really, I don't know. I look at these pictures and it's like, oh my God, he could be knocking it out of the, he could be creating a whole new generation of gameplay out of the Civ franchise here. That's what my gut is telling me. We're as far as Froxus and Sid Meier is concerned, we're heading into a whole new territory, and I am sorry to say I'm really excited about it. I really am. I want to see this game.
I'm excited as well. I'm hoping that it's going to go well. It's just there's that kind of little worry that, you know, going into a new kind of adventure of games for a company that's usually sticking to what they know is worrisome. But I'm really excited to see, because, you know, it can go both ways. It can be fantastic, or it can be kind of a flop. But there's been so many flops anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I'm very curious. I'm definitely going to be watching and seeing where it goes.
Well, you got to admit, in the history of Froxus and Sid Meier, I don't know how many flops you can actually count on one hand.
Yeah, right.
You know, really, when you think about it, every single game that they've come out with, you know, along the Civilization franchise, and even some of their offshoots, have all done well. There's been no... I think the only flop... They did have one. And that was the one that they tried to do on Facebook. They tried to do a Civilization game. It was based on Civ 4. Yeah, Civ 4. Yeah, Civ 4. And it was... It was supposed to be able to tie in with your whatever. It flopped. They end up shutting it down. So yeah, they've had a flop or two, but compared to other companies in the lifetime of Froxus, like, because they've been around for a long time, and then Sid Meier before that, I think what they're doing with Starships, besides starting possibly a whole new genre for the company, could be very good for gamers who love the Froxus brand and their games. I think it's, I don't know, I'm just, I don't get overly excited a lot of time about some games, but this one, yeah. And that's why I'm so pissed. Because after Beyond Earth, and I've been playing it a little bit recently again, I'm still disappointed in the game. It's not so much like, okay, you played Beyond Earth, right?
You know what? To be very honest, I own it. Tried to play it on this machine that I have, and it didn't work out. So I actually haven't put any time into it yet, unfortunately.
Thank you, Falcon. What about you, G?
I played it for a day roughly when it came out, I believe, maybe 2 days, and I enjoyed it. But
there's something there that's just not.
Yeah. And actually, I would agree. In right here, I would definitely agree with the Paint that it's. I want to see a true sequel. Like, it was supposed to be a true sequel, but it was just missing. There was something about it that was absolutely missing, and I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. And even when I've gone back to play it recently in the last couple of weeks, and I've been playing it off and on, and there's still something about that game. I love it because it's a Civ game, but there's something about it that is just, and I can't put it into words what it is. I honestly can't, and usually I'm pretty good at that shit. But that's why I'm pissed, because now they took my hopes up so high. They've basically put me in limbo as far as Civ 5 is concerned, and now they're teasing the fuck out of me with starships. It's
so
just.
Am I the only one here who thinks Starships is going to be extremely similar to the other games? I really feel like it's going to be. I was reading through what it was saying, and it. I mean, obviously it's going to be different, but I feel like the same formula's kind of there.
Yeah, but that's just, okay. And I see what you're saying. And but that genre of RTS, and now with some RPG mixed into it, which I find rather interesting, because when it comes to the Civ games, there's no RPG. Except for maybe an overarching one of your civilization. But predominantly, it's just build up your civilization and before your time runs out. I don't get the feeling with this one. I don't get that feeling with Starships. I think it's got more of an RPG aspect to it. I think probably what it would come close to is the one from Stardock, Galactic Civilizations.
And the third one is out or in beta?
It's in beta, I believe.
I'm excited for that. I have it on my wish list.
What don't you have on your wish list?
I don't know. I have too many games. I need money to buy these games.
I have another one for your wish list.
Which one's that?
But it won't cost you a cent to get.
Haha.
All right.
I like those.
Okay. There's a new game out from a company by what the hell's their name? I can't find their name. But it's called Among Ripples. And it's free. No, Ripples.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Or at least invite us to join you in there. It's called Among Ripples, and it's a lake simulator. You basically are in control of the whole ecosphere of a lake. Everything from the smallest fish to the otters, you name it. And it's free. Now, I haven't taken a look at it. Let me see if I can get the link here for people. They can check it out themselves. There we go. It's okay. Their description of the game is, it's a small, quiet, simple little sandbox about poking at a watercolor picturesque lake ecosystem, fiddling with the water and adding life to it to see what happens. You can add 6 species: pike, dace, perchfish, crayfish, clams, and a friendly otter. And then tweak the oxygen levels, then they'll get on with their lives. They eat each other, die, rot, and swim around looking cute for you to enjoy. That's the game.
Please tell me you spent your afternoon playing this game.
No, I didn't. No, I actually had work to do for the stream here, so no. But you might be able to run it on your toaster. So, you know, I expect a report tomorrow on how good this game is. Or at least, gee, you can put it on your wish list and you know, maybe get it at a later point.
Oh, I'll get it right away if it's free.
Gee, it'll go right next to the spanking game and the watch the guy eat a popsicle game on your wish list.
Oh yeah, those are my top 2.
Why
And
does
then
that...
Rock Simulator.
Why don't you just toss in that surgeon simulator as well, and really
I
add
actually think I already have that.
Oh, God.
Wait, really?
Only because of the Humble Bundle. There was another game that I wanted, or I don't even remember. I have way too many games. It's bad, and I haven't played like 60% of them.
That's a thing, okay? What is this? Because I am new to gaming in general. Like, I'm a fair noob, okay? And this whole, I have thousands of games in my Steam library I have never touched, seems to be a problem. And I don't understand it.
Well, it's okay. To be fair, all right. Humble Bundle has probably got to be like the crack for gamers. Okay, because you can basically, when they've got their deals on, you can get 4 or 5, maybe 6 games for under $10. If you toss in a couple extra bucks, they unlock a few more games for you. Toss in a few more bucks, and you get even more games. Spend what, max $20, you got almost 8 to 10 games. So it's not hard. Like, what is it? Dark Devil. He is a Humble Bundle maniac. I don't even know how many games he's gotten via Humble Bundle. But yeah, that's. I think between the Steam sales and Humble Bundle, they are the dealers of game. Like, you know, the first one's free, and your library will never recover from it.
Apparently, though, in that Ripple game, the nipple game, you can breed your fish. I just learned.
Really?
That's exciting.
Wow. Just what I always wanted to do was breed perch. I'd rather breed the otters. At least you get fur out of them. One bit of sad news today, and I know this name will mean probably absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's ass-kicking time.
Thank you, Bacon. Will mean absolutely nothing to probably 90% of the viewers here. But electronic music pioneer Eric Foyce died today at the age of 70. Now, if you know your electronic music or your dance music, the name Tangerine Dream will probably be up there as one of the premier bands. Eric Foyce was one of the founding members of that band. Where this comes into the gaming thing is that he was also the principal composer for all of the Grand Theft Auto games.
You are about to enter the world of the universe's
He
ultimate killer.
was really good. A lot of the people that make music for those types of games are phenomenal, and you see them in multiple other games or even movies. And it's really sad, but you know, he was older and he lived a great life, made some great music.
I have known Tangerine Dream and Eric Foyce for, I guess, since about their first or second album. And the man was brilliant musician. And Vic, I'll get to your question in a minute. But yeah, Foyce 70 led Tangerine Dream and directed its distinctive instrumental synthesizer sound for more than 40 years. The band is closely associated with the rise of electronica in the 70s and 80s. Tangerine's Dream work entered the mainstream with a song for the train sequence in 1983's Risky Business, and an adaptation of an early work that became the theme for the 1985 action show Street Hawk. But Foyce and Tangerine Dream are credited, along with 3 others, on the 22-track original score for 2013's Grand Theft Auto 5. He was an incredible musician, and kitty cat. He will. Anybody that loves electronic will acknowledge that he's gonna be missed. Now, Vic's question. He asked me, Cranky, what is your favorite game and why? To be honest, I've really. I'm going to open this up to my 2 co-hosts to answer while I try and come up with a reasonable answer. So, G, Haas, your favorite game of all time and why?
I'll let Haz go first.
Final Fantasy VII. No question. I lost years of my high school time to that game. I have played more hours. I still have it hooked up in my living room right now. Just something about the story. Back then, it was like all the cutscenes were fucking amazing. I could go back and start. I actually bought it on the PC and tried to play it for the first time on the PC because I was always a console gamer for, my childhood years. And I went through the whole game all over again. It was just like, holy shit, this is still amazing. And I could always go back to it and start from scratch.
Man, I don't know. I was hoping that would give me enough time to pick, but I think my problem is I really enjoy certain genres and certain types of games.
Yes.
And that's where it's at. I would say I can name a few.
Okay,
Dragon
all right.
Origins.
Let's tie this down a little bit tighter, and maybe this will help answer Vic's question in a roundabout way. Your favorite all-time FPS?
I'm gonna be shot this because it took me a very long. Okay, console gaming. I'm a female. I'm not gonna say female can't FPS, but I played the whole "my hands are too small" card to be able to fucking fiddle with everything. So when I finally got it, it was Call of Duty, but it was Black Ops 2. And everybody tells me that I'm a failure because it wasn't Call of Duty 2, which apparently is the best Call of Duty. So.
Okay, G, your favorite all-time FPS?
Oh boy. I would say it's a very, very hard choice and very close, but I would have to say Battlefield 2. And the main reason for that would be because it was the first game that I played that really brought really cool vehicles and jets and choppers and tanks and all of that stuff, and still made it very fun, kind of army type. And I became really not great at the game. I wasn't some sort of like MLG status, but I was pretty decent. I was good. I could top the ranks a lot of the time, and I had a lot of fun with my friends, especially with my friends in that game.
Okay, due to my age and the amount of games I've played, when it comes to FPS, I have to go with 3. Because they're all from basically around the same time. Number 1 would be Doom. Number 2 would be Hexen, which many people probably won't recognize. And number 3 would have to be Quake. Now, Hexen was done by it. It was a variation on the Doom type game. But those would be my 3 FPSs. And really, I know I'm kind of cheating here, Vic. I'm sorry, but too fucking bad. I think, and an interesting point, and this was in the show notes the other night, and I can't find a link right now, but there is a game developer out there. They're going to Kickstarter. They're trying to do this, but what they are doing is they're returning to that era of FPS. Graphics wise, the whole works. You know the one I'm talking about. They did that.
Process.
No.
Not due process?
No, it starts with an S, and they had this awesome video that sort of went a little viral of the 1980s first FPS game. The kid, and he got this shit all over his face. Starts with an S. I'd have to hunt for it. I could probably find it again. But anyway, their reasoning being is that people love the simplicity of that game, of those style of games, especially considering that look at some of the most popular games right now, like Don't Starve or Terraria or a side-scroll or 8-bit games. They're going back to the original Quake and Doom and Hexen and that style, modernizing the graphics, of course, but still with that original graphic ethos to their very simplistic. And I gotta admit, I saw it and I'm going, my first reaction was, I don't know. And then when I started reading more about what their reasoning behind it was and saw a few more of the images, was like, yeah, I can actually honestly see myself buying this. I really can. Because it reminds me so much of the Doom era, the Duke Nukem, the Quake. Like Quake 1 has to be one of the all-time greatest games when it comes to FPS. The atmospheric quality of the game, the graphics quality of the game was just amazing. And Paint Chips, you're going to find yourself timed out if you keep that up. Now, RPG. Your favorite RPG game of all time?
Yeah, but my favorite RPG would be my favorite game of all time, so I don't think my answer counts.
Why? Why wouldn't it? Like what? Final Fantasy?
Well, it's the same. Yeah, it'd be the same, I think.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's still more than valid. G?
This one would have to be a tie. There's just that's my genre. I love RPGs, and I love finding different RPGs, and there's different types of RPGs. I mean, one of them being what I discussed yesterday, Tales of Magiel, which is somewhat of an RPG. But then I also love Dragon Age Origins. Inquisition is getting there if they upgrade it and make sure that it actually is supposed to be a PC game. Mass Effect series, except for 3, I thought 1 and 2 were actually pretty decent. I mean, just those kind of open-ended Skyrim. I loved Skyrim. I loved Oblivion. I know there's people who that's kind of like a love it or hate it type game, but just any of those RPG games that really make you feel that you're kind of involved with the character and you have something to lose or to gain. And I just love RPGs. RPGs is my genre.
Well, I would have to go with Afro on this one. Fallout 3 and Borderlands, the first one. That would probably be...
Speaking of...
Yes?
I saw this. I don't know if you saw this, but Randy Pitchford teases Borderlands 3 announcement.
What, they just came out with that stupid prequel shit?
Yeah, but apparently they kind of hinted at a Borderlands. There was no details. Or
It's
it was at PAX.
Thank you, Exentor. What, PAX today?
Yeah, comes straight from the CEO. He teased the announcement when answering a fan's question during Gearbox's Q&A panel earlier today. No details were given, and he didn't even confirm the game as being called Borderlands 3. So we still don't know where or when in Borderlands timeline it takes place.
Yeah, because if they try and pull off another of this fucking prequel bullshit...
Right. I heard that wasn't that bad.
Oh, it doesn't matter if it was bad or not. The fact is there was a money ripoff as far as I'm concerned. Like, it should have been a DLC at like half the fucking price. Right? There's no...
That's what I heard. I did hear that.
Like, that was not a standalone game. I don't give a shit. That was just a money grab on the part of them. And that pissed me off. But a Borderlands... Where could they go with that story, though? Quite honestly, like, have they not kind of exhausted Pandora and that whole... Because they've gone to the moon now, you know, like... Is there anywhere else that they can go with that game?
They always think of something.
Yeah, that's true enough. That's true enough. I'm trying to figure out how to... Well, Sony was going to say something? Haas?
No, I was just going to say that's another one of those games that I was kind of crucified for never playing because it's supposed to be so phenomenal.
What, Borderlands?
Yeah.
Borderlands was... if you were to restrict yourself to modern best FPSs and RPGs and not take into account, you know, anything maybe, you know, 5 or 10 years old. And yes, I have, Wolf. I play Borderlands too. Borderlands would have to be one of the top 5 games of all time. It really would. Yeah. Yeah. I think in a way, it almost set a new standard for that genre of games. I think it did. My personal opinion, but, you know... A1 Magic, that was an awesome game. But do you remember the original Sid Meier's Pirate? It was an RTS. It was in between Civ 3 and Civ 4 that they came out with it. That was who am I cutting off, Paint?
They don't realize it's Cranky and friends. So
Yeah.
They're just trying to troll. Paint and Jason are kind of on their last legs. They're going to be timed out fairly soon for the rest of the broadcast stream.
Yeah. Pull your mic just away a little bit from your mouth. There, G. There we go.
Or you could just like suck on it a little bit. That could be fun.
I mean, if you want, Has. But no, I was only doing so because somebody mentioned that your volume was a little higher than mine. So I was trying to compensate.
Pull the sock off and let's go. Speaking of pulling the sock, I'm trying to figure out how to lead into this discussion because this is going to be kind of a twofold conversation that's going to happen over tonight and another night. When it comes to living in a tech world and being part of a tech world or being part of a gaming world or a gaming culture, one thing I don't think gets a lot of conversation or serious discussion is relationships. And what kind of relationships work well within the parameters of a gaming culture, people that live a gaming culture life, okay, who are gamers. What kind of relationships work for them? Now, I got to preface this, okay, by saying that I have been in this industry for 30-some years. I have been a programmer. I have been a tech. I have been a web designer. I have been a writer. I've covered a lot of this stuff. And for 20 years of that, I had the most amazing woman in my life, my wife, who could not stand technology. She hated technology. Like, to give you an idea, when we had cable in here, and the cable company was upgrading to digital, that we had to get a new box and a new remote control. And she said to me, "Can I not have the old remote control back? I know how to use that one." I wanted to get us cell phones, and she took one look at it and says, "Here you go. I want my landline back." I got an Xbox so I could pull in, Netflix and stuff for her, and she took one look at the controller and said, "No fucking way, you asshole. Get this the hell out of here." So, the question I have is, how much does your interest, or someone that you want to have a partnership with, how much interest should they have in the world that you live in, as far as being a gamer or involved in technology? Like, is it important? Is it not important? Why is it important? Does it make it easier or hard? Like, I'm really curious about this, because the thing is, as gamers, we live.
Oh yeah, it's ass kicking time.
Thank you, Kappa. We live our world. Like, games are integral to our days. We get up, we do our work or whatever. We're usually thinking about the games we've been playing. We're thinking about the conversations we've had about games. When we have conversations with people, it's usually about the games we play. Does that mean that really the smart thing to do is have a partner in your life that is exactly the same as you? Or is there a balancing act that you can make? I toss it open to you guys.
All right. I guess Haz wants to let me start it off.
Tackle that first. I don't mind.
I really think that there's definitely a balance needed, especially depending on the person that you're in a relationship with, depending on the type of gamer you are. It's one of those things where personally, I would need to find someone who either is a gamer and would want to play games with me, or wouldn't mind me jumping on, and playing 8 hours because I can jump on for 8 hours and have fun. Yeah, I'm gonna go do things with her and have fun and do whatnot, but this is kind of my entertainment. So I would definitely need someone who understood that, or would be someone who would be a gamer themselves. And I find that people who aren't gamers typically aren't okay with people sitting there for 8 hours a day playing a game, or wanting to see them play. So I definitely think it is a balance, because if you're just playing games and you're not doing anything with your partner, then that's a problem as well. But it is a balancing act. I do just another little quick tidbit here. I have a really good friend of mine. He was a huge gamer, and he also really wanted to get into a relationship with girls, and always was trying to find a relationship to have. He finally found one. She doesn't like games whatsoever. I see him game maybe 5 minutes a day, if that.
Yeah, but okay, here's the problem I have with that. Is that this was part of who he was. This was a part of what made him who he was. His love of gaming. He literally decided that having a partner was more important than being true to himself.
Yeah, and I think that's the wrong way of doing things. I think he's going to realize that, and it's going to end up not working.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is like, how long can a relationship like that work if you have basically neutered yourself, both emotionally and psychologically, because you want, the quick roll in the hay every night? Like, I don't agree with that. If you're like, she had, like, as far as I'm concerned, she had no right to say it's me or the game. But obviously, he felt it was And I think that's a decision that he's going to come to regret, and it's going to cause him more, agony in the future. Or, hey, for all I know,
animosity.
Yeah, for all I know, I could be totally out of my fucking mind, and he's going to be the happiest man, and I'll still be a grumpy old shit up in Canada. Haas, your thoughts?
I think it's freaking huge. Like, there are times when I like to get so involved in a game that it tends to be all I think about. I get that addictive, 1,000+ hours into something that I love, and I'm always looking for that game. And I want to be able to, if I can't enjoy it with someone, I want to be able to not feel like I'm like ignoring them or being an asshole because I just want to play games. I want someone who can understand that, or somebody that I can enjoy that time with. Sorry, I'm distracted by the feet. It's weird.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's a dumb, nice feet. Just keep saying, show your feet. I'm just like, dude, I got fucking hammer toes and corns and shit. You don't need to see that. It's like a gnarly tree down there.
Okay, so anyway, now that we've been distracted by your feet, continue.
I brain farted like a freak.
All right, let me step in and give you a chance to regroup. Like I said, I was married to the most awesome woman I could possibly have for 20 years, and she passed away a couple of years ago. So I'm getting to that point where I'm thinking, maybe I'm not that old that I can't have someone else in my life again. So going by what my past was with a woman that wanted nothing to do with technology, wanted nothing to do with it, but stood behind me 100%. Do I go that route again, or do I say, no, this time around I want someone that actually I can have conversations with about the things that I love doing, which is gaming, doing what I'm doing here, writing, whatever. And it's an interesting question to have to face. Now, I know you both are technically single. And I'm going to have this conversation again with a couple of other co-hosts who aren't single but are married or in relationships, because I want their aspect as well. But when you think about having a relationship with somebody, how much of what you do right now plays a part in your decision making of what you are looking for?
It's huge. It's one of those things where if I'm looking for someone, or when I am looking for someone, and I'm constantly finding new people and kind of going on dates and things like that. But that's kind of one of the first things that I find a way to bring into the conversation, and I let them know, and I try to see what's going on with them, how they feel about it, and luckily I've met people who have been interested in games, but it seems to be kind of just all around. Like, we have the same types of interests, and yes, we have different interests and such, but it's just something that is important to me, and usually I make it clear that if you don't have these qualities, then it's not going to work out, because I'm stubborn, and it's not going to work out.
Here's the thing. I have a hard enough time talking with coworkers about what I like. What do you do? All right, so I play video games. That kind of sounds really ridiculous to a lot of people, but then it's like you start to explain what Twitch is to someone who's never heard of it. You start to explain what TeamSpeak is to someone who has no fucking idea what something like that is. So you're like, oh, I'm in a community with people, and we play games, and I sound really silly right now, but it's a total natural part of my life, and I can't imagine trying to match up with someone who wouldn't understand any fucking part of that, and having to go the ring around every time. I also find in these kinds of situations, people meet people all the time. Like, the whole online dating thing through games. I think Dizzy Disaster, didn't he meet his wife that
Yep.
way?
Yep. And I have another friend, streamer, who met her boyfriend, and they've been together for 2 or 3 years on, I think, WoW. And it's one of those things, you start hearing that more and more and more, and you start seeing people go on like online dating sites more and more and more. And it's actually a very good thing, because from what I've been able to see and from my own experiences, you're able to talk to the person and know who the person is before you even meet. And I think it's an excellent way of meeting people, because that's the same, those are your interests. You know, I'm not someone who likes to go to a bar and try to pick up girls. I don't like doing that at all. I'm not, and when I do that, I never pick up a girl because I don't have the same interests as them. I find it boring. This is kind of my area. This is what I'm comfortable with, and this is what I want to do. So, yeah.
Really, what's so different from meeting someone playing online games than on a fucking website? Like, what's the difference between eCupid and this shit? It's finding somebody with your same interests.
Exactly.
Well, I think also too a great factor is how big your pool, okay, of availability is. And granted, the internet has made it a lot easier. But if you live in a small area like I do, and I'm telling you, sometimes like I don't even like going to my house because I get so depressed when I see people that are, you know, I'm thinking these are the people on Facebook. Oh my fucking God, no wonder it's such a cesspool. Or you know, they're still stuck in the flip phone. You know, like you mentioned the smartphone to them, they're going, no, this is my phone. You know, like how do you pull out anything of like anything that even closely resembles having an equal playing field to even start talking about? But I was just curious about that, because people accuse gamers of being solitary, social misfits. And sometimes I think that is probably the most incorrect description of a gamer. Because consider, especially now with all the online gaming you can do, and all, you know, whether it be on console or whether it be on PC or whether it be on mobile, it's no longer just down in your dad's basement, you know, playing a text-based game. You are in contact with probably more people in a day playing a game than most of your friends are, who don't. Now, granted, one area where there's a lot of improvement, and we can see that sometimes in chat, is social skills. Okay? But I think that has a lot to do with age. I think gaming, in a way, is more open to communication amongst people and friendships amongst people. Because, okay, take this here, take yourselves. How many people have you met through gaming that have become fast friends? Or even romantic inclinations there has? You know, so I think it's interesting to look at this as sort of a social thing, and relationships, they're hard enough at the best of times. But when you are so wrapped up in you know, your gamer culture or your game life, and I don't mean wrapped up in a bad way. Don't take me wrong on that. I personally don't think anymore that you should. I think you need to find somebody of the same ilk, the same attitudes. Because if you don't, it can make the relationships harder, in my opinion. And I was curious about that, so that's why I opened up the conversation.
I mean, I'm technically currently, basically, in a long distance relationship through Twitch and through streaming and through gaming. And I think my favorite thing to do is to fucking play games while we're on Skype. It's probably the most fun I could have. It's kind of like, all right, how was your day? That's great. Can we open up a game? Can you start a server so we can play something right now? Like, that's what we do, and it's more fun than going, like G said, going out to a fucking bar. I mean, that's fun sometimes, but you're not gonna meet. I don't know. If this is what you do, I don't know that you're gonna really be successful there.
Yeah, you're not going to find a third level wizard hanging out at your local, meat market bar. Well, you might, but then you got to wonder a bunch of other questions as well. But anyway, I think, like I said, I think it's a valuable question to have. To ask and see, because like I said, what I'm going to do now is when I get these other two folks who are in relationships on, I'm basically going to open up the same question to them, because we're looking at the two different sides here. But anyway, we're going to probably we're going to call the show to a close, folks. Who is Cranky? I'm just a cranky old fuck who lives in Canada. Has a lot of attitude and a lot of opinions, and loves sharing them if you like listening. How's that? Slew of Silverwood. Or is that? Yeah, that's Slew.
I think it's Slut.
That could be too.
It's Slut.
Yeah.
It's just with an H.
Yeah, they're trying to be tricky.
Wait, what? Slut? What? What did I just miss? I just heard slut.
Alrighty, folks. I want to thank, like I said, I'm going to put this disclaimer out because we got a few more people in here now, and for the future reference, we are not politically correct here. None of my co-hosts that I've asked to join me in this little experiment are politically correct, which is one reason why I asked them to join me. We express our opinions. You may not like them, you may not agree with them, but you know what? You're free to express your opinions however you like. And if you enjoy what we talk about here, which will be just about anything to do with gaming culture, geeks, we will be talking about it. This show will be running 7 nights a week, starting at 12 a.m. every night. Max lateness, 12:30. And we will run till whenever. So it doesn't matter how the conversations go. We'll just go with the flow. So until tomorrow night, I want to thank G-Spot. I want to thank Haas for joining me and for some great conversation. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. And if you want, if you've got any ideas about the show, you got any stories you want to share, follow me on Twitter. I am the Cranky Canuck. I can be found there just about 24 hours a day, and I do pay attention. So feel free to reach out and talk to me. That said, go ahead.
So, gentlemen, are we going to go play some Nipple now? Ripple? Nipple Ripple?
Nipple Ripple? Let's go play some Nipple Ripple. Let's go play some Nipple Ripple. And everybody else, you have a good night, and remember the golden rule. Game on!